The problem with any news about North Korea is that it's difficult to work out whose propaganda is more ridiculous. If geopolitics were compared to a game of poker, then any tactic which vilifies North Korea is such an easy sell that it's the equivalent of the U.S. military apparatus playing a joker card whenever they want to frighten and distract the U.S. public. Okay, news reports are claiming that some 50 North Korean submarines have suddenly gone missing, and there certainly has been an escalation of rhetoric and the usual posturing between the North and the South in recent weeks. But as the U.S. prepares for yet another round of provocative joint military operations in the area, it would be naive to expect anything less. The problem is that while there are elements in South Korea which are looking at trying to soften the ongoing dialogue with their northern brethren, the U.S. military-industrial complex is heavily invested in South Korea, and even though the Soviet Union is now just a footnote in the history books, America's post-war treaty with South Korea provides an easy cover for regularly using outdated Cold War tactics as a cover for advancing strategies that are unrelated to North Korea. Most reports suggest that the recent escalation of tensions is easing, so it seems quite absurd that the U.S. would invoke the usual scaremongering about North Korea in order to increase its military footprint on the ground, unless the real aim is to continue down its long and winding path of provoking North Korea so that under cover of responding to Pyongyang, and its bellicose warnings, the U.S. can ramp up its regional military preparedness as tensions with China rise. It is not surprising, therefore, that we're now being treated to reports of supposedly massive military movements being spotted near the China-North Korea border. Moreover, quite apart from the underlying agenda involving China rather than North Korea, in the present political climate that involves rogue elements in the United States openly working hand-in-hand with Israel to derail the P5+1 nuclear accord with Iran, this scaremongering, which is involved in all MSM news reports relating to North Korea, conveniently also supports the anti-Iran agenda in the minds of ordinary Americans without anyone even having to mention Iran. In any case, whatever else one might say about the regime in North Korea, they've already demonstrated that they're not suicidal and they just want to be left alone. Meanwhile, almost like clockwork, the public is treated to a new round of distractions connected with Pyongyang-related propaganda every 6 months. We really should have a name for this ruse, and I would suggest that we refer to it as the Pyongyang feint. And whenever the joker card is played by the U.S., we should look elsewhere to see what is really going on that the U.S. prefers to sneak under the U.S. public's blinkered perceptions.